Welcome back to Morgan's video blog with writing tips from the pros and my own writerly musings. Today I'm talking about writing/illustrating comics. The final Imaginarium panel I attended this year was moderated by John Pica. The panelists were, for the titular panel, Sako Toomey, Brian K. Morris, Jim Haas, and Brian Rodman. The description was as follows: learn the ins and outs of what goes into creating a great comic book. So, while I'm not an artist and I've never been drawn to creating graphic novels, I am a huge fan of webcomics and a fan of comics in general. So, I had to hit this panel. And I know many of you are very big fans. There was a mix of old school and new school graphic novel creators on the panel. So, what do you wish you'd known before you started was the first question we got into. The answers were as follows. 1, how important consistency is, especially if you self-publish. Secondly, how to use the 9 grid. It's a 9 grid that you use for panels and spacing, usually with 3 to 6 panels on the page using the grid, and it really helps with the flow. Third thing they wish they knew, comics will break your heart. Only do them if you can't not. Do it because you love it. Next tip, everyone's got 1,000 bad pages in them. Get them out fast, and don't listen to people who tell you no. Like a crab pot, people will pull you down. And finally, you got to love the challenge of it. Be fueled by spite, if nothing else. So next, we talked about what should the writer give the artist. Well, there is joy in seeing one's writing come back amplified. But in order to get that, you need to give the artist a few things. First off, more money. You're probably not paying your artist enough. Secondly, a story Bible. Give the descriptions early in the script of the character, the set, and the monsters. Talk about how they are emotionally, what their socioeconomic status is, what their attitude is like. There is no such thing as too much detail for the artists. Give them inspiration photos. Give them expressions and body language in the script. Next, we talked about remembering how to pace a comic. While comics are often heavy on dialogue, don't forget the power of prose. While comics are traditionally 22 pages plus covers, you can do other sizes if you're self-publishing or web publishing, but no matter how long your story is, you do need to make sure that every issue contains its own beginning, middle, and end. Older comics often had, quote, backup pages of about 4 pages of a side story that also, those 4 pages had their own beginning, middle, and end. They weren't just little snippet things. Remember that you probably want to have an entry point for every comic so that anyone can use it as a starting point without having to read your entire backlog catalog. So next, we had to ask, how do you promote your comic? While we all wish we had a major distributor, it's unlikely to be the circumstances for most of us. Artists can obviously promote their work by sharing artwork online. They can share pencils, they can share inks, they can share like color layers, etc. Obviously, visual things go over really well online. So what if you're a writer? What do you share then? Well, step 1, you can team up with an artist, or you can share a short script or just a simple quote. Some quotes are quite powerful. Unlike books or many other creative works, often the best way to get a comic book or graphic novel in front of a publisher is to actually make the book itself, the graphic novel. So Other ways to promote is obviously build a fan base, learn how to make the book, and use fan building like Kickstarters and Indiegogo, things to drum up interest and show the publisher that you have an audience. So finally, we just talked about recommended comic references. For character bios in specific, obviously Alan Moore was the first name mentioned. He has an entire book on character bios. A page and a half may be a little too detailed. You should trust the artist at least a little. Neil Gaiman's character bios seem pretty solid. He has very distinct characters, and Grant Morrison was named. In general, if you're looking for artists who quote unquote, or writers that do it right, you may want to check out Roy Thompson, Steve Englehart, the John Byrne and Chris Claremont team up, Will Eisner, Cullen Bunn, Mark Russell, Mark Wade, Robert Kirkman, Mike Mignola, and if there's anything you still don't know, there's always Google. So, I know that was a lot of information, but hopefully most of it should seem at least a little familiar if you've looked into graphic novels before. Let me know if there's any names you agree with or disagree, and if you have any tips for those trying to start creating a graphic novel of their own. Thank you for watching, and tune in again next week for more writing tips and writerly musings. Bye-bye.